Hi, welcome back to The Scent Advocate. Tonight we're talking about fragrances that smell like bad decisions. We've all made them. Some are worse than others. But these fragrances from my collection definitely call bad decisions to mind. What are you drinking tonight? For me, it's coffee. I hope you're drinking something stronger than that because it's Friday night and why not? Well, this is not spiked in case you're wondering. So bad decisions. Let's start out with too much fun in the form of alcohol. Yes. So the first fragrance we'll talk about is Elysian's Blackwood and Bourbon. The name kind of says it all, doesn't it? Yep. So this is a 50 ml 2024 release. It is an extrait and it goes for about $150 approximately. The notes in this are anise, palo santo, rosewood, tangerine, bergamot, vanilla, bourbon, of course, cereus, cinnamon, oak, brown sugar, labdanum, vanilla, I already said that, vetiver, and blackwood. All right. You want to say it's masculine leaning because of the name, I think, but it's not. There's a very strong powdery note in here. I think that takes it out of the masculine lane and puts it right in the center of unisex. The person who wears this may have had too much bourbon to drink, but I tell you, this would be the best smelling bourbon drunk I've ever come across. In my experience, most people who've had too much bourbon don't smell this good. But if they did, they might be in store for additional bad choices, the likes of which we'll get into in a moment. But let's stick with having too much to drink. Moving on to Marissa Zappas. Maggie, cat is alive. I'm alive. Why does this smell like too much fun? Well, because this has a very champagne forward scent. This is, by the way, a 50 ml. It's an EDP. It's a 2023 release and it goes for about $190. So the notes in this: champagne, peach, ambrette, violet, orris, oak moss, castoreum, solar notes, fantasy note, amber, and sandalwood. Too much champagne for me definitely translates into too much fun. I cannot have too much of that. I never really drink hard alcohol just because I'm a weakling. So bourbon, just no. I have had a margarita or two in my day, but getting back to champagne. I love champagne. I love bubbly, but I can't have too much of it or it makes me drunk. That might be a bad decision. So I try to be careful with my alcohol because I'm not very good at the whole drinking thing, except for coffee. I'm really good at drinking coffee. This is certainly not the only champagne forward fragrance I have, but this is one I don't hear talked about a whole lot. I think this is really beautiful. So I've read a lot of mixed reviews around it. I think people pick up a lot on that castoreum. I do not. And I also don't get much oak moss, maybe a hint since I know it's in there, but it's not in your face. So this smells very feminine, very uplifting, very happy, positive, and yet serious. It doesn't smell like bubble gum and roller skates. But this one does. This is called In Love with Everything, and so far I've only got a travel size. I think this is probably like 9 ml or something like that. This is by Imaginary Authors, and I just had to show it because being in love with everything is probably never a good idea. Bad decision? Yeah, most likely, but this smells really great. It has neon raspberries in it. I mean, that's more in keeping with the video I did a few nights ago with, the whole psychedelic space cadet thing. Yeah, so this is neon raspberry, not just any raspberry. It's got citrus pulp, coconut, palm sugar, sandalwood, tropical punch, and stardust. I mean, who doesn't want all of that in a fragrance? This is absolutely energizing, youthful, lots of fun. Does it smell like tropical punch? Yup. Does the tropical punch smell like what you remember tropical punch smelling like? Yeah. It's fun. It's not something that I would wear to work if I wanted to be taken seriously, maybe for like, like a party of some kind or something. But, this is fun. You got to take it for what it is. For me, it's just, it's extremely young, and I am not. So it's just not something I'd wear a whole lot of, but once in a while, just for me, I really do enjoy it. This is an EDP. I paid $46 for this. It's 14 mil. Didn't realize that. It's a 2022 release, and being in love with everything is definitely a recipe for a bad decision, but wearing this fragrance is not. It's good stuff. Imaginary authors in love with everything. Next, Nightclubbing by Celine. Oh yeah, this one is chock full of questionable behavior, my friends, starting with the social cigarette. Have you ever done it? Heck yeah, I definitely have. Absolutely. When I was younger, for sure. Not anymore, but years ago, when I went nightclubbing as a single person in New York City, absolutely. Yeah, this smells like a night out in the city, having a good time with friends. The bad decision being those cigarettes. And I get the feeling that cigarette smoke accord is either something you're going to love and feel nostalgic about, or you're going to find it, really off-putting. This is a 2019 release. It goes for, it's 100 ml and it goes for $330, and it's an EDP. Oh my gosh, this smells great. So the notes in this are galbanum, orris, vanilla, moss, musk, and patchouli. I also think, there's a velvet accord to this. It's very chic. The person wearing this is the one to watch. This person's having all the fun, definitely not humiliating himself or herself. Even though it's got the hinting at the possibility of making a fool out of yourself while out nightclubbing, but you don't, because you're just too cool for that. There's a little bit of that urban grit going on in the background, and yet that orris softens it up so nicely. The patchouli isn't the least bit bohemian. It is a little bit chocolatey, I dare say. The moss, not really. I'm not really picking it up. This is charm in a bottle. Gorgeous stuff. Great times. Nightclubbing by Celine. Let's go for Femme by Rochas. This is a 1944 release. This is not a vintage bottle, but I have smelled vintage Femme, and this is real close. I believe the year of sale of the decant I bought was sometime in the 80s, maybe. I'd have to go back and look, but it was from a while ago. At least it is my belief that it was from before the IFRA restrictions on things like oak moss. This I paid a whopping $30 for, and it's 100 mil. It is an EDT, but you never know it. It definitely wears like an EDP. Plum, peach, cinnamon, apricot, rosewood, bergamot, lemon, aldehydes, cloves, ylang-ylang, rose, rosemary, iris, jasmine, oak moss, musk, and vanilla. What's going on in this? Yeah. This fragrance is sending a message. No question whatsoever about what the message is. It's beautiful. It's very feminine. It's very forward, suggestive, all of that. Bad decisions? Well, could be. Could be a bad decision. Could be a great decision. Could be the best decision you ever made. It just depends. I think it's pretty close to the next fragrance I'll talk about, but this is a very forward fragrance, right? This is just very, very suggestive. If you haven't tested this, you should. This is an experience. Truly, all jokes aside, this is something to behold. This is very expressive, artistic, interesting, complex. It develops on your skin. It stays with you all day. One of the most lingering fragrances I've ever experienced. And again, this is an EDT. I've been blown away by this fragrance ever since I first tested it. If you don't like cumin, this might work for you because I don't see a cumin note in here, but some people do detect cumin. I don't, but maybe a little, but not as much as in other, kind of sexy cumin forward fragrances. It's got antique florals in here though. The rose is, and the jasmine are expressed in a more antique, almost indolic way. So I think that's kind of lending to that unspoken animalic in here. But gorgeous stuff, Femme Rochas. What could be more sexually forward than Femme Rochas? It's got to be Salome by Papillon. Oh yeah. This one leaves no question that someone made a decision. Someone was busy doing something. Okay. This is like post bad decision fragrance, okay? Or post great decision fragrance. This is definitely more after than before. If I had to put them in order of chronology, this is before the decision, this is after the decision. There you go. This is a 50 ml. It's an eau de parfum. This goes for $225 and it is a 2015 release. Okay, so the notes in this: bitter orange, bergamot, hyrax, jasmine, carnation. Funny thing about carnation popping up in these indolic florals, not in Femme, but in a lot of them. Tobacco, Turkish rose, orange blossom, castoreum, cumin, oak moss, hay, styrax, and patchouli. Yeah, the cumin comes out, but it's done really well. It doesn't smell like body odor. It smells like just what I said. Something happened, and there's no doubt about it. This is it right here in a bottle. Bad decision again. I don't know. I guess it depends. Interesting stuff. It's oddly compelling. Give it a try. See what you think. Not a safe blind buy, in my opinion, but I think at the very least you will find it compelling. When I first smelled this, I was like, what in the heck am I smelling? Like, this just screams happened. Yeah. And I just didn't get it. I didn't get it. This smells indiscreet. That's it. Then I just kind of wanted to smell it again. Don't judge me. How about more, but on vacation? Yes. Gauguin. Oh yeah. Gauguin is irresponsible. Maybe not bad. It's just maybe irresponsible decisions on vacation. This smells like tropical, South Pacific specific tropical vacation. And there's tiare flower in here, which is kind of like coconut mixed with gardenia. There's definitely salt accord going on. Oh God, I feel like I have dog hair up my nose. I have these 2 dogs. It's just like hair everywhere. This is an X-straight. It's a 30 ml. This is Francesca Bianchi. I think I paid about $200 for this. It came out this year, I think. What a winner. It's very muted on the coconut, but what I love about it is this feels like exactly what you'd wear if you were in a South Pacific paradise and you're maybe having dinner with someone on the beach, or you're walking on the beach, and whatever it is, there's a beach involved, and you are wearing something beautiful that makes you feel powerful and attractive, and there's the ocean around you. There's definitely an oceanic kind of accord going on in the background. Not Kalone or anything like that, just the slightest hint of salt. It may be an ambergris. Very sophisticated, very attractive. You wear this and you're ready to get close. That's what this is. The weather is humid, and this is just going to make it even better. This is the sort of fragrance that in warm weather where you're perspiring just a little bit, this blooms. It just blends with the perspiration and the salt on your skin, and just makes it incredible, makes it perfectly conducive to what might be a great decision or a bad one. Whatever it is, you're doing something if you're wearing this. Gauguin by Francesca Bianchi. And moving on to La Belle Helene by MDCI. This is a fruity sheep. I love it. This is a 75 ml EDP. It goes for about $250. This has pear, citrus, aldehydes, osmanthus, iris, ylang, rose, oak moss, myrrh, amber, vetiver, patchouli. This is absolute joy. And what this does for me, the bad decisions this calls to mind is just having had an amazing vacation. You accidentally miss your flight home. You're just having such a great time. Or you spend a little too much. You do something irresponsible, but not necessarily illegal, which is good. You shouldn't break the law, but you're doing something. You've lost your inhibitions and you are having a blast doing it. You've made a decision that you wouldn't make unless you were just completely elated. You're having so much fun, you just can't stop. That's what this smells like. Pure joy in a bottle. I think in a previous video, I compared this to winning the Canadian lottery, the kind that you get the full cash amount up front and it's no tax. And it's always like more than $50 million. And that's great, provided the exchange rate is favorable and everything. But let's assume it is for the sake of this discussion. That's what's going on in this. And then you can go out and spend too much because you will have just won the lottery, right? Canadian style. Speaking of spending too much, our last fragrance to me epitomizes spending too much. It's Soie Malaquis by Dries van Noten. This fragrance makes me think of shopping and spending too much money on any one thing at a store where everything is overpriced. Can't do it all the time. You may regret it. Buyer's remorse. It's a bummer. But yes, this makes me think of a shopping trip where if I didn't love so much what I bought, I might just have remorse. And I will in a few days. But in the moment, it feels great. Let's just say I'm buying a silk scarf. They're lots of fun. They make everything feel a little bit elevated. So a silk scarf. This is silk and chestnut, bergamot, rose, cocoa. There's currants in here. So this is a 2022 release. It goes for $400 for 100 ml. It's an EDP, but that's steep. What I will tell you is it's got great lasting power and it is beautiful. It smells like an Hermes scarf, damn it. It just does. Is it a bad decision to buy a scarf you love? Nah, not if you don't overdo it, right? Okay, so what fragrances make you think of bad decisions? And I'm not talking about like waking up in prison somewhere. I'm talking about, a little too much fun, something you don't do all the time. Nothing catastrophic. Let me know in the comments. If you aren't yet a subscriber to the channel, please consider subscribing. If you enjoy discussion about niche and indie fragrances, luxury designer fragrances, give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.